When I started the IVF treatment, I didn't expect to have my family to be in this with me together. I remember just showing them on the first day I started my injection. Yeah, I remember just giving them a picture in a family chat. So it was something very foreign to everybody. I could tell that nobody knew what questions to ask.
At first, I didn't know what to do, or how to help, how to assist her to do this, to give her the support, because she's my first child in a family of 4 children, first child of 4 children to go through this. I'm really hope that she will go through this with success, because knowing her, because she's the one who really wants to have a family of her own, so I will give her my full support. That's it. That's all I can do. As a father, it's not easy to really tell her or what you call it, to show that how I feel about it. It's very, very difficult. But I think she will understand how I feel about it. Whatever it is, I will give my full support. It's really scary. I didn't know. I don't know how she feel, whether it's painful or not. So it all comes into my mind. Hopefully, it will be okay for her, all this one. That's my big hope, that we should go through smoothly. She has children of her own. That's the main, the main thing she wants.
The cute thing about my dad is he's always send us or ferry us everywhere since young. So if, for example, he hears that I have a medical appointment and for some reason my husbands are unable to be to accompany me, he will just straightway offer, okay, I'll come and pick you up. I send you to the hospital. Yeah. And the small little things that he really does is like, suddenly he will just message me, oh, I bought your favorite tahui. So he will drive all the way to my house just to send me. During the times that I was put on bed rest. Yeah. So all this and sometimes my mom will cook some things and then he'll just make it a point to send it all the way to my house. Yeah.
Of course, because I've a lot of times, because I'm retired. So anytime, in fact, sometimes we plan ahead. I will tell my wife, you just cook something for her tomorrow, I will send it to her. Don't need to tell her, don't tell her first. Surprise her, That's something which I think can help her. I would like to tell them that don't blame your child or the partner for having to go through this. Make their life happy, actually. Don't make them stressed in their life. After all, even though they are adults, they're still your child. They are still your child. So try to make everybody happy. Don't stress them with. Try to tell them this is something wrong with you. This is don't mess it up. This is life. You have to accept fate. When you come across this, you have to find ways of how to to make it good for you. Try to improve or whatever it is. That's my advice, to the father. Do not blame your child or the partner for having to go through this. I just read somewhere in the YouTube or what is IVF. In the first place, when she broke the news that she was going to go through, so I just on the surface I tried to understand what is really IVF. So to me, that is a process where she will be able to conceive. Because naturally she cannot conceive. So she has alternative. Why not try? Whatever it is, it will be when you got the result, you'll be happy, right? You know how trying. You just try because that's what you want. So in life, you have to be positive. Whatever you want to do, you think is good, then go ahead. And as a father, I'm always, behind you.
When I first heard the cries of my firstborn, like my dad said, I really don't know how to describe the feeling. You feel happy, you feel very thankful, and I think the rest of my family were really rooting out for us, and was just very, very grateful when he came, because he was yearned for, he was prayed for even before he was conceived. So that made it on another level of special. Yeah.
I don't know how to express myself actually, I was grateful to have these grandchildren, that to have Ida to have her own child, So I'm really happy. The first time when I saw them, oh, it's a normal child. To me, it's normal, same as other child, same as my other grandchildren, So to me, this is something, a gift, a big gift to our family.
Extra special.
Extra special. This is extra special. Serious. And I can see now that when they are growing, they are closer to us, They're very close to us. Especially when I send them to school every morning. So we talk and talk in the car, while on the way to the school. I like that. I like that life for me, as a retiree, I feel like I'm happy every day. I can see my grandchildren, I send them to school, I play with them. Wow, really. The weekends when we have especially Friday, weekend or Friday, we will have dinner together, all the flock. Even though it's noisy, but I have to accept it, Sometimes when the children didn't come, I feel, why something missing in my life? Something is missing. I really complain, why nobody come today? That is something which I don't know how others feel, but to me that's how I feel.
For all the small little things that you've done for me, and giving me the space when I don't want to talk to anybody, I don't want to meet anybody. You never question or give me a hard time. You never ask me, when is it I'm going to have a child? You never did that. I'm just very thankful that I never had that pressure from you.
Father always hope for the best for the children. That's me. I give you all education, so to bring you all up. That is something, a duty. It's my duty to do this, as a father. So I think whatever it is, I'm grateful, that we are what we are today. Okay.
I know she has to go through this process of fertility treatment. I always tell myself that I give her positive thinking, and tell her to keep calm and be patient, have confidence, and just stay calm. Most important. And I think things will turn out well if you are patient and tell yourself that you can do it. Must trust yourself. It pains me to see her going through this fertility treatment, because I know she tried very hard to get a baby, especially because Patricia is my only daughter. So I wish to have my own granddaughter as well. So when she went through this fertility treatment, it really pained me, because I hope that she can go through it. So anyway, it pays off because she's very strong and determined. Because when she went through all this fertility treatment, I was in Singapore. I saw that she took her jabs, she went through all the procedure, and it's heartache to see her taking all the jabs. So anyway, I'm proud of her now because she got a beautiful baby who is my grandchild. Too happy, I'm proud of my daughter. I had my daughter, Patricia, is through a normal birth. So it pains me when I say, why must my daughter go through IVF, So I was hoping that she can go through the normal birth like what I did, when I delivered her. But when I know that she says she wants a child so badly, she has to go through it. So I support her. I really support her because I know that she wants a baby so badly. So she went through this process, which is not easy. It's a tough journey. But I'm glad that she did it. And I'm very, very proud of her. And I would say she's very strong. She's really a strong lady, which I treasure her so much. Frankly, I love her very much.
I think, as I said, my mom is actually based in Malaysia. She came to Singapore during my surgeries to take care of me. Honestly, I didn't go very details or rather went into the technicality with her because I didn't think that she would understand, having, that parents at her generation wouldn't have known what was IVF. So I kept the details very vague, but just shared very high level that, this is what I'm going to do. They're going to take out the eggs, they're going to put, they're going to inseminate, and then hopefully we'll have a baby. So I shared with her very high level. One thing I really love about my mom was that she gave me a lot of space. She listened. Sometimes, of course, she asked some question that I would be like, why would she ask that? But then I always try to put myself in a position that, because she didn't know much about IVF and this artificial way of getting pregnant, then I'll try and be empathetic towards that. But one thing I really support my mom was, she was there with me, especially in my one of the most major procedure I had to undergo, which was robotic surgery. My mom, because my husband was traveling for work, my mom actually stayed with me in the hospital for 3 nights and took care of me. And that was actually the most painful surgery I had to go through. But because seeing my mom sleeping next to me in the hospital, you know, the visitor bed, gave me so much love and strength that because of what I could go through.
I remember when she went through these fertility treatments, I was there with her, and I tried to, maybe cook some herbal, for Chinese, cook some herbal soups for her, make sure she have a good meal, and then don't stress her. Because sometimes I know I'm a bit nagger. She always say,
Just
Mommy,
a bit, I think it's quite a lot.
she always say, don't nag at me. So I know that most important, we cannot give her any stress at all. Because when she goes through this period, frankly, she definitely had her tantrums. So as mother, let's give her all our support and give her more space, for herself, and listen to her more. Be a good listener and always instill positive thinking to her. That's what I always do. Because frankly, when I see Patricia went through that period, I saw her, sometimes she was very down. So sometimes I do not know how to, make her happy. So I always try, maybe, share with her. We watch movies together, we talk together, we try to think of the, happy moments, think of the happy things, talk about the happy things, then always be positive to me. I always have positive, mind in my mind. So I always instill this in her. And then whenever she feel down, when I was in Malaysia, she always call me and I tell her the truth, we can talk for hours. There was once I remember I timed myself 1 hour on the phone, and she doesn't know how much the telephone bill cost me at that time.
The one thing that she supported me the most was that, she won't call me to ask me questions that, how's your baby making coming along? And I always remember this at the very, very beginning of trying to have a baby. My mom, instead of asking me, how did you do it? How is it coming along? She will very conveniently drop a story about how her friend tell her the kid lift up the leg and then they got pregnant successfully.
Yeah.
So she was subtly give me those hints here and there, but I know that's how she navigate the conversation around. And again, because we are so close, I'm only child, single parent. So I think that you know where she's coming from, and I think, like I say, one of the biggest support was that she's always asking me to pray on a daily and meditation. I think my mom instilled a very strong praying and meditation in me, that to be positive and things will come through.
I really do not know what's IVF actually. We are ignorant because we never think about what is IVF. But when my daughter told me she's going through IVF, I did ask her what is the procedure. So she explained to me very clearly what is it, what she has to undergo. Then only I understand that a lot of ladies who cannot get pregnant normally, they will go through IVF. And I can tell you it's very common nowadays. Even over in Malaysia, because I'm from Malaysia, some of my friends, children who is unable to conceive normally, they went through these fertility treatments and it was successful. I have a few close friends who is very close to me, telling me that, well, their children is all having babies all through fertility treatments. So I think maybe it's the technology. We should thank this modern technology which helps parents who cannot conceive can go through this fertility treatment. It's amazing. I feel that it's good. It's good.
So where do you see your future plans at the moment?
Frankly, it depends on which day you ask me that question. Sometimes there are days where I'm very determined. I want to have a second kid, so that my daughter could have a sibling for life. But on some days that all I could think about is the flashbacks of the past, which was the fear, the disappointment, the pain, and the burden, the uncertainties, which make me do not want to go anywhere near there. So I have a very, very polarized view about my future fertility plan.
To all those parents whose children are undergoing these fertility treatments, please stay strong and stand behind them. Give them all the encouragement, confidence, have faith, trust them, and tell them they can do it. Tell them they can achieve it if they do it, and never give up. Most important, be strong. When my friends, in fact, it's something like their children age is something like Pat. They told me about their problems also, that their children can't conceive. They went through IVF, even went to, as far as Australia. They went to Australia to do it. So anyway, it was successful. So I even told them that my daughter went through this, and it was amazing. She did it, I told them. So both of us are right, because you always share, what our daughter went through.
When I heard her first cry, it was still it was unbelievable. I mean, it was so surreal. Probably surreal is what I would describe. That the baby was lying, top of me, and I look at her. I'm like, all the hard work, all the pain, all the frustration that I went through paid off. That was the first thing that came to mind.
Mommy, I just want to say thank you so much for everything you've done for me. Stood by me in my most difficult years, and I'm so glad that we have a very happy and healthy little girl in our life right now. And I just want to say it was difficult for you to take care of me since and being a single mom who raised me up, being such a fine lady I am today. And I just want to say thank you and I love you.
I'm proud of you because you've done it, and because you are very, determined, and your patience pays you off, and no doubt going through the pain. But I'm really proud of what you are now. I love you.
Yeah, I think by then I was quite desperate. I would do anything for it. Yeah, like by then we were going for TCMs every week or every 2 weeks, and I was drinking all that medicine every day. So my TCM said she preferred working with herbs. She felt that acupuncture was not so necessary for me. But then that said also, herbs, we all know it's not like you take the herbs today and tomorrow you feel magically better. It takes a long time, and I do wish at that point of time that I started taking TCM, like I started checking my periods out with my TCM earlier. I also wish that I started taking my supplements earlier. Now on hindsight, I realized, because someone recommended me supplements to take as well, and I just kind of was blindly, I decided to take it anyway because she had 4 kids, so I assumed I guess that helps. And I think now on hindsight, I think the supplements help with my egg quality, because in the initial phases, when my periods were regular already with my TCM, post HSG, it's still we still had no news. We were definitely getting it, hitting the right timings and all that, but there was still no news. And it was only maybe about 6 to 8 months after I started my supplements, then we had a positive result. And now I have 2 kids, so with my second kid as well, stubborn lah, because supplements can be quite expensive when you start taking more of them. And then again, about 6 to 8 months after I started my supplements, then we also conceived again. So now on hindsight, I think the supplements did help with the egg health. So for the first round, he had to take as well. But the second round, actually, he didn't. I went on my own. I think for him, because he didn't, based on the test and all, he didn't have any issues. So I think it was mostly my side that needed the TCM. Yeah. I think it's not just to younger women. I recently had someone who is a little bit older, and then she's getting married soon as well. And then she wasn't sure how to start trying. I think with anyone, I would actually suggest to get some fertility checks done. Even if there isn't plans to have a child, I think is to, if anything seems amiss with the cycle, with the periods, right, to get it checked. Because the thing about polycystic ovaries that, fertility is the first problem that we all face, right? But in the long run, I think those with polycystic ovaries will know that there is risk of, because of the insulin issues, right, there's risk of diabetes in your older age. So these are things that it's not, the problems don't end with fertility. It's not like, oh, now I have kids, then I can forget about my polycystic ovaries. I think I still need to be monitoring things like, signs of diabetes and all of that. Yeah, so I would always recommend to do fertility checks early and to see whether there's anything that needs looking at earlier, because then if there really is, for example, if someone really wants to have a child soon after they get married, then they can decide that they want to start supplements or they want to start TCM just to regulate something, or make sure that their body is ready to conceive as well. I think it's like a running joke with a lot of us who have difficulties with fertility. People always say, I didn't know it's so hard to have a baby. If it was so hard, then I wouldn't have been so careful previously. I think the joke was that my husband and I, we said, initially in the first 6 months of our marriage, we said we didn't want to have a child yet. So back then we were using protection, and we said, actually, my body is a natural protection, so I don't actually need to use it. But I guess, it's always, I think people don't realize, people think that it's easy to have a child. They don't realize actually that it can actually also get quite difficult. My advice would be to find a support circle. I think sometimes it can be very scary to tell people that you have fertility issues, but I think also, if it's scary to tell someone whom I think there are lots of people in fertility support who are willing to listen. Yeah, and in our group we have such a big variety of people that it's almost definite that you know someone, that we might know someone who has a similar condition or has heard of something similar to what anyone might be having. Yeah, I think a big part of it was really having a support group and knowing where to find the help. Because I think without my friend telling me about TCM and all these things, right, I wouldn't know what to do. I would just be blindly going through the everything. And I think there are also people who share their stories to say, like, for example, their first cycle of IVF, they kind of blindly went through it hoping that it'll be successful, and then they realize it's not. And then that's when you're kind of shaken awake and realize, okay, we got to do some research, which is kind of the way I was when I started trying as well. So I mean, with my TCM, she taught me a lot about the natural fertility, basal body temperatures, how after you ovulate, your basal body temperature jumps, and then how to actually identify whether you've ovulated. And I went to even read out about what it means to have long periods, short periods. If your ovulation to your menstrual period that time is too short, it's also no good because there's no time for the egg to implant, things like that. So I think now I understand it a lot better, and I think nobody really understands. I mean, everyone's like, that you're supposed to have a 28-day period. You don't realize that the only window that you have to get pregnant is like just a few days each time. I think maybe like a year or two into trying, it was the hardest. I think that was the point where I was realizing that there was actually something really wrong, but I hadn't reached the acceptance point yet. Because I remember right before I actually did conceive, it had been quite a long journey, and at that point of time I felt like, okay, if I don't have kids, then I'll just spend my life traveling, that's fine. So when you get the acceptance, there's a little bit more release, and you kind of decide that, I decided at that point of time that I wasn't going to live my life thinking, maybe I'll get pregnant next month, because then I decided I'll book a holiday, and I don't care whether I'm pregnant at that point of time. Yeah, because initially I was holding off all my plans. I didn't want to do this, didn't want to do that, because maybe I'll be pregnant next month, maybe I'll be pregnant the month after. Yeah, so I think when I decided that, when we were in that stage of still grieving and still yearning, that was very difficult. And then only when I had decided, like, it's okay, this is what it is, and I've accepted that if I don't have children, that's what it is as well, I think it got a little bit easier. For me, drawing was a big part of it. Because I'm a Christian as well, so religion was a big part of it as well. And I also was very privileged to have, at that point of time, actually, I was privileged to find out that I had more friends also who were also facing fertility issues. I think sometimes it just takes a bit of courage to say, oh, actually I'm trying for a baby and it's taking longer than I'm expecting. And then someone goes like, actually that's also our prayer request. And then I actually had a buddy to go for TCM with, so that was really nice. And I'm in fertility support right now because I realized that so many people at that point of time don't know who to talk to, and I think when you are very new to the journey, it's very embarrassing, and it feels like, a lot of women always say it feels like their body has failed them. And because of that, it's so embarrassing. They don't want to talk about it because they don't know who to talk about it unless someone else has talked about it first. And then the classic phrase I always hear is, "Aya, you understand lah," which is, it's true. We do really understand. So and I guess, on hindsight now, when I look back at my years of waiting, I think it's made me a better person. It's made me someone who knows how to be there and listen to people better, because that was what I wanted when I was in the journey myself. If I got to tell my younger self some advice, I would have told myself, accept help when things don't seem to be going the way they should be. Yeah, I think let go of my pride and accept the help around me.
Even if you're not 40 and you're 20 or 30, it's really, really tough. But when you hit 40, you have the additional complications. And we know, the research is there, we've all read it. We know that after 35, your eggs start declining in quality and numbers. So we know what we're up against, okay? We're up against a lot. For me, it was so important that I had a doctor that could work with someone who was 40 plus and had complications. And I trusted him, okay? So I knew he knew what needed to happen. But he also had a team of doctors that he was working with that would support him, because my journey wasn't straightforward. It wasn't IVF doctor, and that's the only doctor I dealt with. I dealt with a rheumatologist, endocrinologist, my doctor obviously with the urologist. So he had a team of specialists that were going to support me and that were willing to support me through my journey regardless of my age, okay? So they were willing to work with me. I trusted my doctor. I trusted myself, okay? I trusted my mind and my body. And I knew that I could do it, and I was willing to do whatever it took, and that was important. So your mindset is really important when you are 40, because everyone around you, don't listen to people around you, will tell you how hard it is, how tough it's going to be, all the complications. And yeah, they are there, that's the reality. But if you trust in yourself and your body and you keep fighting, you can do it. I think the other thing I would say, that's like, the doctors and the team. The other thing I would say is I believe in holistic therapy and alternative therapy. Do what's right for you, because it's not for everyone. But I did TCM, I did acupuncture, I did Ayurveda, so that's Indian herbal treatment. I did my own Reiki healing just to kind of rebalance my energy levels. I did lots of different things, but I did things that I knew that I believed in, that resonated with me, that I enjoy doing, and also that I felt had a positive impact on my treatment. So everything I felt would help me get to where I wanted to get to. The other thing I would say, and this is really, really important, is find your support network, okay? Whether it's your family, your friends, or people that have gone through the journey, or a support group like us, right? We're here to help you. The support network is really important because we are not meant to be doing this journey alone, okay? You are not in it to do it alone. Having a baby, going through IVF, going through infertility is such a struggle, and it's really tough doing it on your own. So find help, okay? Whether it's a professional, so a psychologist, a counselor, a coach, a psychologist, psychotherapist, whatever it is, find a specialist that will help you to help yourself, someone that understands you, someone that you can work with, because that's important too. And that would be something that is non-negotiable. Like, don't try and do it alone. There's people out there to help you. We are here to help you. And that really helped me. I had a coach, and that changed things for me and my husband. I think talking about my husband, I do want to mention that he was an amazing support for me. So regardless of your age, just talk to your partner. Be open with your partner. Be transparent about what it is you're going through and what you need from them. They're not mind readers, okay? I know we're thinking, oh God, he did this and it really wound me up, but he doesn't know what you're going through. So talk to them, say, this is what I'm going through, this is what I need from you. And try and do it together. It's a team effort, right? You're in this together. And lots of marriages and relationships really, really suffer through IVF and through infertility. The last thing you want is to then, have this relationship that is going sour or is not helping. So work together as a team, talk to each other, be there for each other, tell each other you love each other. It seems very basic, but it's so important.
So I'm quite, Wilma under the rock with Flintstones person until now it's the time to really speak up. I'm learning about social media from all of you young chicks, and the amount of information that are out there and about infertility, or whether it's about hormones, everything, there is a touch point, someone that you can relate to. There is always a message, right? So social media is one. Secondly, this IVF support group is fantastic, especially in an Asian environment where we are very quiet about, is it a taboo? What's wrong with her? Why is it that I can't get pregnant? It's not a topic of conversation. And when the thing is taking that first step, when I took that first step, so I lost girlfriends because I chose to, because I couldn't handle their happiness at the time. And when they found out that I was going through this journey, that they couldn't talk to me because they couldn't understand the pain that I went through. So I had to do the first step to say, I'm sorry that I did not include you in my journey, right? And I want to repair that because I value your friendship. So it's about taking that first step, right, towards the friends that you are close to, and having that network is really important. And family is very important as well. My sisters, they didn't know what I was going through. They knew that I was going through this, but they didn't know the real step that I had to take. So I have to explain to them. And when they understand, then they are able to reciprocate, giving her space. Okay, understand. She doesn't want to come to dinner. Okay, understand. Instead of, giving a guilt trip. Why didn't you come to dinner? Blah, blah, blah. Other than the fact that you need a lot of money to go through this, it's also how resilient you are, and also keeping the fire alive between you and your husband. There are so many factors that you got to consider. You and your husband need to know how many rounds you're going to do this. Look for option B. Look for option C. I've heard, and I know of women who has adopted and then they got pregnant. And for me, I gave up twice and I got pregnant, right? And you need to tell yourself, we are here for a purpose, right? Our life here. Okay, I don't want to go too spiritual talk about this, but when we are here for a mission, it is more than just a baby, okay, right? We have mom and dad, sisters. So we talk about the 7 mastery again, right? Your career, your health. Without health, you can't achieve so many different things. And I chose my husband because I see beyond. He is more than a baby-making tool. I love him because he's got values A, B, and C. I want to build my life with him beyond the baby. So to me, there is hope And you need to work with your husband to have that same vision. That vision that you both are here as a union of husband and wife. Where is your next step if you don't have a baby? It is not the end all. And I really believe in miracles. And I believe in love. And to me, when you have and you work on that, you'll be amazed of what you are presented with. It's belief.
Thank you for being on this journey with me. When we got married, I always knew that you would be an amazing dad. And seeing you be such a wonderful dad to Isaac, it just makes me love you and respect you even more.
Thank you. Yeah. I think what I would say is thank you, Gloria, for taking this journey with me. It was a very scary one to begin with, but I can't imagine doing it with anybody else but you. And I think our son has the best mother that he can possibly have to be his mother.
I think another thing about secondary infertility is guilt. We face a lot of guilt because coming into the infertility journey, there are a lot of people around us who are still trying for their first. And it makes us feel very guilty knowing that we're trying for, a second or a third, and a third is crazy. And so we often feel that we can't talk about it. We can't, our feelings are not validated, or we're not allowed to feel or talk about it to anyone really, because people will just, as you said, oh, you've got two, not having a third one is okay, things like that. But I think my advice would be find a support group that are going through the same thing, because they will understand you best. And it's okay to feel what you feel at the end of the day. Your feelings are validated, regardless if you're trying for your first, second, or third. You are allowed to feel what you feel. Honestly, I think of it in a different way. I think that listening to other people's stories and helping them has helped me through this journey. I don't think that I could have gone through this alone. I feel that understanding people's journeys, learning what they've gone through and helping them has taken my mind off my own journey in a certain way. And I feel so honored and happy that people are willing to share their stories with me. And it just makes me want to help more people out there and make their journey just easier. Yeah.
I think to tell her is, whatever things happen, we have gone through 14 years. I think we have found a very good way to manage our marriage, manage each other. I think we just keep it, and we can go on many more years. Yeah, whatever decisions that we have.
Thank you for always being there for me.
No worries.
Oh my God. Wow. It was us and it was everybody else around us, because we're talking like 8 years after trying this. So everybody was rooting for us, from family to friends. Like everybody was rooting for us to get pregnant. So when colleagues, yeah, everybody. When we finally got there, I didn't even know how to deal with it. We cried, we laughed, we screamed. I can't explain that feeling, honestly. I don't know if everybody feels this, but definitely when you have struggled to conceive for so many years, I can't even tell you how many negative pregnancy kits I've been through in that 8 years. Because every single time you feel like this is it, it's my time now, and then I feel pregnant. I tell him, I think now. I think now. Can you go and get a test? Can you go and get a test now? And then we'll do it and I'll be like, oh no, it's negative. And then we'll come again. I'm like, yes. I think no. I'm telling you, I'm late. Go and get a test, and then negative. It sounds very cliche, but it's crushing to the soul. It's crushing, especially when you're, and for me, because of my age, it wasn't just about, oh, you've been pregnant and married for so long, still nothing. It's not about that. It's not about society. For me, my clock was ticking because I was 38, 39. So apart from whatever undetected or unseen issues that we may have been having that was not able to be detected in any of the tests, it was also the fact that my biological clock was ticking. I was getting older and older, and then the whole thing about, oh, your eggs are much older, the probability, and then the health of the eggs and everything, it was stressful. So when we got the yes at 39 years old, it was, oh my God. Then it was like, oh my God, what do we do now?
I think the happiness was just totally different.
Yeah.
We've spent so many years together with family, with friends, and we've celebrated like everybody getting pregnant and having a kid. And we genuinely felt so happy for them. And even before we got married, we always had this, that dream that we want to have kids and we want to have this boy running around or this girl running around with us. But to not have it for so long, and then when it happened,
yeah, it was
it was
tough.
another level. The happiness was another level.
It was almost like there was this dream that you had that everyone around you got, and you never thought that you would get that. And it feels surreal, like, is this really?
And no, that it was also that question of, how come it's never happening to us? Why everybody
not
else except us? Not that we're not happy for them. We're always happy, for family and friends. But how come it's not us? How come we're just never getting it right? And I think that's what took us a lot of time to get over.
A lot of inner demons
Yeah.
when you go through this. I think that's why I totally appreciate the Fertility SG.
Talk it out. Don't keep it bottled. I kept it bottled up inside for a bit. It was fine the first time, fine the second time, but the third time when it started to consume me, that's when I think it becomes very dangerous. I could be stronger. It lasted 3. Some people might not even last in 3. So it's always important to talk. Let it out. Husbands talk to your wife, wives talk to your husband. If you cannot or you don't see yourself doing it, talk to a friend. Talk to whoever you think is going to understand you.
Online support groups are very useful. I think that you can turn to your faith. I mean, if you don't have faith, then you believe that in the wider universe that there's something out there that, when it's the right time, it will happen. And you just cling on to anything you can, I guess. Sometimes online support group where nobody knows your face and nobody knows your name might help as well, because you just need to share what you're feeling inside. It's better to talk it out than to keep it inside. Take care of your health, your body, that's important, but your mental health is also very important. There are both ends of the spectrum when you prepare for fertility treatments. There are the one who will just fall into fertility treatments and not do any preparation, and there's another group that would say, do follow everything strictly. Don't eat this, don't do that, pray to this, pray to that. I would just say be happy. I think that being happy is very, very important. Your own emotional health and your own emotional well-being is very, very important. If you're not prepared to tell anyone about it, don't tell. If you're not prepared to take this supplement, don't take. If you don't want to read that book, don't read. It's okay. I think what this journey has taught me is you cannot plan for everything. You can only do your best and hope for the best. And then those that you can control, you control. And then those that you can't, you leave it to your faith, your God, or the universe, and just let it be.
Do what is right for your mental health. It is really important because IVF is really something that you can get addicted to. It is really I shouldn't say it's a vicious cycle, but
Consuming.
it is, yes, it will consume you, because once you fail, you will think, okay, I must try again. I will go through it again, I will get my eggs retrieved again, do it again. Then it will go on and on until you don't know when to stop. You are just being consumed by it. And don't be consumed by it. Take yourself out from the position and then look at the big picture. Don't let any kind of pressure affect your decision, be it peer pressure, family pressure. I think family pressure sometimes it's quite difficult to deal with. But I feel you must be selfish at this point. If you feel that you no longer had the will to carry on, you think that you must move on, make that decision. For us, it will be the best decision that we have made. Instead of clutching on straws of hope, do something good for yourself. Yeah.
At the same time, I would urge anyone who is thinking of trying, just try.
Give it a shot.
Because you don't want to get past your biological viability age, then you think about it. Then maybe it's probably too late to start.
Yes.
So if you have any issues conceiving, go and see a doctor and try to. I mean, if you can, go IUI, go IVF. Just try it when you're young. your chances are much higher.
Thank you, B. Thank you for being there for me. We did name our daughter. We didn't give her the name that we wanted, but we named her Hope. You know, because she brings us hope.
And thank you for being so strong and so brave, because poking yourself with all those needles and having all those bruises. I mean,